Al-Sayr, immigration attorney Michael Wiles. Also back with us from Palm Coast, Florida, Fran Heiser. Her son Michael was killed in the explosion in Dhahran. And from Minneapolis, Herman Marthaler, whose son Brent also died in the explosion. And joining us from Washington, senior diplomatic correspondent with the Associated Press, Barry Schweid. Michael, Hani Al-Sayr was your client. Let's make that clear. He is not anymore. Tell us what it is that attracted the U.S. attention to him in the first place.
There were reports that a gentleman had entered Canada that had been involved in this atrocity. And the Canadian Intelligence Service at that time were going to deport Hani Al-Sayr to Saudi Arabia. He then reached out to American law enforcement, to the FBI, and sought a deal where he would turn over information on this terrible incident in exchange for political asylum. And then, in turn, both parties had reached out to me to see if I could broker the arrangement. And I was successful in doing that. We were able to bring him into the United States and work out a plea agreement which still remains under seal. So I'm not really still permitted, even though he is no longer my client, to talk about that deal.
So there was a plea agreement, but he reneged on it. You can say that.
Yes.
Now, the United States, this investigation is going nowhere. Do you think that your former client may have some of the answers that would propel this thing forward?
There is a very close fellowship between the United States and Saudi Arabia. This gentleman had told me before he came here that he had information about the players and the people that were involved in this atrocity. And then when he came to the United States, after we negotiated a deal, they ended up rescinding the deal. And they replaced me with another court-appointed attorney, and the whole deal was up. So, to be honest, whether or not I believe he had anything to do with this is not the issue. He has already said that he has no information on this and now is awaiting deportation back to Saudi Arabia. What
do you think happened in this bombing?
Well, first I should say that my allegiance was first to a person who was going to be put in jeopardy by returning to a country that would not give him a fair day in court. And yet I'm an American citizen that feels that this was an outrageous event where we had our boys sleeping in the middle of the night to protect a country that is now not cooperating, from the things that I'm reading, with intelligence and law enforcement in the United States. I think that Mr. Al-Sayr was a person that would have had information and should have been imparted some more deference. And at this juncture, I still believe that he is trying to make his case in federal court and before an immigration process. And I wish our law enforcement officials Godspeed, as well as our legislators and our president, that they approach this with the same zeal that those boys went when they went to Saudi Arabia.
Very good point. Unfortunately, we need to take a short break right now, but we're coming right back with more of our discussion on the U.S.-Saudi inquiry into the 1996 bombing of the KhobarTowers. Has it stalled? Will it be solved? We'll talk about that when we come back.
In just